People with low self-esteem often find themselves in challenging situations and live a hard life because they don't love themselves enough to make the necessary improvements. If you don't love yourself, you end up settling for less because you feel as if you don't deserve the best. You're okay with being in toxic relationships. You're okay with mediocre friendships. You're okay with making minimum wage. You're okay with the job that you hate going to every day, yet you wonder, why me? It's because you never prioritize yourself. You'll never come in first place by putting yourself last, so why do it? Why settle for okay when you can be happy? Complacency is a form of self-destruction. Stop playing about you. Because I damn sure ain't finna play about Endia. Now, I'm far from perfect, and it took me a while before I realized that there were consequences to putting myself last. In 2016, I was arrested for aggravated assault, criminal trespassing, and hit and run. One of the most traumatic things to ever happen to me, and it really changed my life. For years, I struggled with finding a decent job because I couldn't pass a criminal background check. I had very low self-esteem and I started having intrusive thoughts. And I would tell myself stuff like, nobody will hire you. You have a valid charge. They do offer you a job, you're only going to get paid minimum wage. You're going to live check to check and barely have enough to cover your bills. You're going to end up broke and homeless because you can't even take care of yourself. No one will ever take you serious. You made a mistake that will cost you your life. You think just because you have the skills, the knowledge, and the experience that someone will actually give you a chance? Wake up! You're a felon. I was so unhappy and I found myself dealing with depression and anxiety, which led me down a dark path. I started drinking alcohol and smoking the pain away, thinking that was the answer to all my problems. I remember when I used to wake up, smoke, eat, and sleep. Wake up, smoke, eat, sleep. Wake up, smoke, eat, sleep. Wake up, smoke, eat, sleep. And then repeat it the next day. My friends and family would try to cheer me up, and they knew what I was capable of, but I was still my biggest critic. I was so full of self-doubt. I would find jobs on Indeed, and I knew I was a perfect fit, but I would submit incomplete job applications and basically disqualify myself before they had the chance to do it. You ever heard someone say, you can't fire me because I quit? I gave up before I would even try because I was so afraid to fail. My fear of failure caused me to put myself last. My life was at a standstill because I didn't see the point of trying. I would settle for anything because I didn't think I could do any better. One day I was venting to my sister about how I needed a job badly. Bills were beginning to pile. I was out here pawning all my stuff, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I told her about a company that was hiring, and I had heard that the pay was pretty good and they offered some great benefits, but of course, that self-doubt began to sink in. I already know they probably ain't gonna hire me because I'm a felon. I mean, really. I was so disgusted with myself. I will never forget, she said, well, I have a friend that also works there. I can see if he can give you a referral. Now, I was kind of hesitant because I'm a very prideful person and I don't want anyone to feel like I owed them anything. I've always been that way. I have a hard time accepting help from other people. But when she called him and explained the situation, he said that the company believes in giving second chances and that as long as I was honest about my criminal background, if they felt like I was a great fit, it wouldn't disqualify me. Phew. That's all I needed to hear. Man, I jumped in my car doing 80 and a 30. Got on my laptop and created a resume from scratch. I mean, I was listing every little accomplishment, every award I had ever received in my life on that application. And that was the turning point of my life. At that moment, I had regained my confidence and started to love myself again. I applied for every single position they had open, seasonal, part-time, full-time, day shift, night shift, you name it. And then I created a second email and did the exact same thing. I was calling every single day for a week straight, checking on my application status. And by the end of the week, I got a phone call for an interview. Y'all, I couldn't believe it. It was nobody but God, and I can't thank Him enough. I passed my phone interview, and so they scheduled a second virtual interview a few days later on Zoom. When I tell you I was so determined to get that job, that on the day of the virtual interview, I took it upon myself to take it a step further and take my happy tail on up there so they could meet me up close in person. There was no way I was taking no for an answer. I walked up in that building with my head held high and confidence through the roof like I owned the damn place. I pushed every ounce of fear I had off to the side and walked out with the job paying $19 an hour. It may not sound like much to some people, but around that time, I was working in fast food making $7.25 an hour. Man, you can't tell me God ain't real. Philippians 4:13 says that I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Sometimes you just got to put your foot down and take chances to get what you want. Remind yourself who you are and what you're made of. Start replacing every negative thought you have about yourself with something positive. Instead of complaining about your flaws, take pride in the things that you bring to the table. Your mind is powerful, so use it to your advantage. If you can think it, you can achieve it. If you think you're a professional athlete, then you are. If you think you're the world's greatest singer, then you are. Think highly of yourself and love yourself enough to know that you can be whoever you want to be, and you can accomplish anything by simply changing your mindset and how you feel about yourself. Self-love is the best love. You don't have to be a better person to start loving yourself. Learn to love yourself in order to be a better person. Thank you. My name is Endia Cook, and I approve this message.